Well, good morning, truckers. Again, this is J717 Trucker Broadcasting, and we are going to start today by talking about the Trump administration. Now, let me say something to start this off. In the trucking broadcasting, I am Trucker 717 Broadcasting. I am not going to talk about politics. Again, that's one of the things that will ignite people. But I always believe this, that everybody has a right to vote. Whether you vote for the Trump administration, whether you vote for the Democratic Party, that is your right. That is your respectable right to decide who you decide to follow. And I will never talk about someone who votes their right. Only thing I would always say to anyone is to go vote. Make your vote well known. When I go vote on Tuesday, I have my little sticker saying I went to vote. So you vote for whoever you think representative follows the things that is going to make the country better for you and your family, your community, your organization. That's something that is your right, and you need to just go and vote for the person you think has the right decision, whether other people disagree with you or not. So let's stop there and let's talk about the Trump administration. Trump administration basically, they were saying that they had a little broadcast on the White House lawn, and there was a Fox representative talking. I think her name was Maria Bartiromo. Basically, she was on the White House lawn doing some briefing, and truckers start honking, and the Trump administration was basically saying that they would support him, but actually the truckers were protesting some of the hours of service law, which is something that is very important to us as truckers, is the hours of service laws. With the coronavirus 19 being a big part of trucking, truckers are the first line of defense in this coronavirus 19 epidemic, and they are the persons that are getting the food to the shelves, the meat and poultry, fruit and everything, essentials to the shelves of everybody else. So they are on the front lines. And I think one of the things that they were protesting was simply the fairness of how they've been treated in this epidemic. They've been asked to do things that even frontliners are not expected to do, and not getting anything from it. And let's talk a little bit more about that. Again, one of the things that they were talking about, and let's talk about the hours of service. They just changed the hours of service for truckers. And basically what they changed was the simple fact that there were 4 things they changed on the hours of service. One was the 30-minute off-duty rule to on-duty. Another thing, they extended the short-time trucking from 100 miles to 150 miles for the guys who were basically doing the local hauls. They didn't really change much and help the trucker, I feel like. One of the things that we've always talked about in the trucking industry is that 14-hour clock that continues to click. No matter whether you're driving, off duty, or whatever, that 14-hour clock kills truckers. So in this epidemic, truckers are asked to actually do more to get product to the shelves. But what a lot of truckers want from the administration is they want more hours. They want more driving time. They want more time to get the product there, to make more money. Some truckers are based on mileage. And obviously if you're driving 11 hours versus 13 hours, that's extra money in the trucker's pocket. So I don't understand why they didn't open up the hours for truckers. I mean, when they're talking about safety, and as truckers, we've always talked about this, was that the people who make up the hours of service are always talking about safety. But truckers will always say that, I've driven freight to the shipper, spent 6 hours getting there. You're sitting there, you're ready to deliver your load, you're in line. Takes them 5 hours from the time you get there to the time they actually empty your trailer. So that's 11 hours of the 14-hour clock that you've already eaten up. So now you're only left with 3 more hours. Okay, so you done drove for 6 hours, spent 5 hours at the shipper, that's 11 hours. That leaves you 3 hours of driving time because the 14-hour clock cuts you off. So you've only driven for 9 hours versus 11 hours. That doesn't help the trucker. And if they were going to do anything to change the hours of service, I felt like, okay, they're talking about, I felt like I would have even accepted. This is what I would have accepted. I would have accepted another 30-minute mandatory break. And let me finish. So you got 30-minute mandatory break, both of them on duty, not off duty. 30-minute on duty non-driving mandatory break, and another 30-minute on duty mandatory break. But I would extend the 11-hour driving hours to 13 hours. I think that's kind of a give and take. Maybe even a 30-minute and a 15-minute break. So 45 minutes. And extend the driving time to 11 hours. And during this pandemic, I would get rid of the 14-hour clock. Just completely get rid of it. I feel like, once you're done with your driving time, that you should be required to take a 10-hour break. I agree with that. I agree with 30 minutes, taking a break, taking a lunch, resting from driving, and then extend the hours to 13 hours. And somewhere at that end of the day, you have to take another 15-minute break to kind of rest yourself. Because if you're going to be on the road for 13 hours, you need to take some mandatory breaks. Because, you got drivers that will understand they're tired, and then you got some that's just going to push it. They're not going to listen. So either 30-30 or 30-15 and extend the driving time and just get rid of the 14-hour clock. I believe drivers know how to rest when they need to be rested. So that's what my recommendation would have been. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about another thing they were protesting in the honking on the lawn of the White House. And that was, if I can get to the right page, page 1, truckers group asked Congress for more transparency in brokers' transactions. So basically what they were honking was the simple fact that during this pandemic, truckers are asked to do a lot to provide the services to the people. And what's going on is brokers are taking advantage of it. Truckers aren't getting any more money. You don't get money unless you drive. And what's happening is they didn't increase the hours of service and give the truckers more driving time. But brokers are making a lot more money off of this pandemic. And what this association is called the Owner Operator Independent Drivers Association. So basically, they went to Congress and they said they're price gouging. And Trump administration even agreed that there's price gouging going on. So brokers are taking advantage of the fact of the higher rates of, getting the money for the product. Like if you're driven a load of strawberries, if it costs $4,000 to deliver the strawberries, brokers are now getting $6,000, $7,000, and $8,000 because of the pandemic. But drivers are not getting more money. They're not passing that on to the drivers. And one of the things the association is talking about, the OOIDA, is they're saying that drivers can't even see the broker's fees and what they're getting paid. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that brokers, instead of getting $5,000, they're getting $8,000, and drivers can't even see that on the bill lading. They can't even see it. They can't even look at it. A lot of the brokers write that in the contract. And what the association is saying, no, They shouldn't be able to get more money for delivering the product and the driver not even know about it. That was one of the biggest things I always talked about when I had my lease purchase. And people used to talk about the rates and stuff of that nature. And I used to tell people, I'm like, look, understand something. These trucking companies are not going to tell you. They are not going to put it out there on the line unless you force them to. Tell you how much money they're getting shipping that product for. They're not going to say, hey, Walmart just gave me $15,000 for that load you just shipped. They're not going to tell you that. And this is what the OOIDA is talking about. These trucking companies, broker companies are not being honest with the trucker and telling them how much they're actually getting for the loads that they are delivering. I mean, when you go to a board, a loading board, how do you know that loading board is putting the prices in that they actually got the load for? How do you really know that? You don't. You have to trust. And that's one of the things, and especially when they're able to write in a contract that you can't even look at it. That's what the OOIDA is talking about. It's like, hey, they need to take that out of the contract. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. So, again, make your voice known. That's why I say on this broadcast, I don't care who you vote for somebody. Vote for people who are going to represent what you need in your community and in your lives in order for you to make a living. Okay, let's talk about it. PAM Transportation, one of the best truck leasing purchase programs. This is something I know a lot about because I did a year of lease purchase with KLLM. And so PAM is claiming that they have a killer lease program. Their lease purchase program is giving drivers maximum benefit. So let's talk about it. Okay. So basically what they're saying is that they're leasing their trucks for $475 a week. And that they're, if you actually went out and purchased a truck, you're going to be paying maybe $1,500, $1,000 a week for a truck. But the lease purchase program will only charge you $475, so that you get this great benefit. Same thing. This is the same program with KLLM. It's exactly the same. That's about how much I paid for my truck payment. It was around $500 a week. Is that a benefit? Is that really a benefit? I know a lot of older operators are sitting there saying, I'm telling you, this is how I look at lease purchase. I look at lease purchase as you are literally have a little bit more control. You are actually sharing in some of the profits of the corporations because you can operate your own company. You can take some tax benefits, But lease purchase program, you are not owning a truck. You are renting that truck from that lease purchase program. That truck is still in their name. They still make the payments. You give them the money to make the payments. If you ever go into a lease purchase program, ask them one question. No matter who it is. So is the truck going to be in my name? I ask them that question. See what they tell you. The truck won't be in that company's name. You are just renting it. They call it lease. Lease and rent is basically the same thing. You have a little bit more options with lease purchase program, but it's the same thing. You're renting that truck for $475 a week. None of that. You're not going to get anything on your credit report. The truck's not going to be in your name. They're going to take care of all the taxes because it's in their name. So basically, you're just leasing the truck from them. Okay. They said there will be no Qualcomm or trailer rental fees. There shouldn't be. I don't see what benefit that is. You're not paying for the Qualcomm. You shouldn't have to pay for that Qualcomm. You know, they've already purchased a Qualcomm. I never understood what that fee was for leasing a Qualcomm or a trailer. You know, they've already got the trailers. They've already paid for them. So why are you paying for the trailers to deliver their freight? What about drop and hook? Have you heard of drop and hook? Owner-operators do it all the time. Drop and hook. They pick up someone's trailer, drop it off, and get paid for it. So why would you pay first to rent somebody's trailer? I don't see what the advantage was with that. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah, this is kind of funny to me. It says, and let me say what it says here. We're not here to profit off the back of our drivers. We only make money if the trucks are on the road. In these cases, our drivers do too. So they're kind of saying they're sharing with the profits, which they are. At least purchase program, you are getting a little bit more money than you would just a regular driver. No hidden costs on our truck lease program, purchase program. Okay, maybe I even give that to them, but again, we're going to talk about that at the end. No cargo insurance, okay, which could cost up to $200 a month. If you own the truck, yeah, you're going to have to pay for the cargo insurance. I'm just saying, you're leasing the truck. You don't. The truck's not in your name. So some of this stuff is like, okay, I'm still not seeing the benefit here. You get their corporate fuel rate. Okay, you're passing on what you already get to somebody else who's delivering your freight. I don't think that's a great benefit, but okay. Licensing and permitting use of tax again. The truck is in their name. Of course, they're going to pay for the licensing and the trucking stuff. They have to. They're legally responsible for paying for it. Maintenance and repair. Let's read that. Okay, our truck leaseholder, you'll pay for the tractor's upkeep and repair. All maintenance and repairs are responsibility of you. You get a settlement of 6 cents per mile. Look, people. I see where they're going with that. You put so much cent per mile and you save up this money, so you'll get like $1,000 in this bank or whatever, and $2,000. You can do that yourself. They're getting interest off of the money that they put away for you. You realize that, right? When they put this maintenance program in the bank for you, they're drawing interest off that money that they have in the bank for you. You can do that yourself. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Corporate fuel rate, again, of course, you can get corporate fuel rates by having your own company. So I don't see the benefit of that. You get to write off some of the expenses on your taxes. That is a benefit that you do get as a lease purchase, because you can basically get your own company, sole proprietorship, LLC, and you can get some benefits from corporate tax rates and things of that nature. So that's a good thing. And it says your weekly settlement from PAM, OTR, can be over $1,500 a week. Now, I used to advertise that. If you watch your fuel, if you run pretty hard as a lease purchase, after all the expenses, you can cut between $1,500 to $2,000 a week. I agree with that. Not even going to argue it. But what I'm telling you, if I had to do this all over again, I would go to the SBA. And again, understand I have my MBA now. So I understand finances, and when people want to start debating with me about money and finances, let me clarify it. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I have a master's degree in business administration. So I understand corporation taxes, stocks, bonds. I understand that pretty well. So look, what I'm saying to you is this. Okay, if I was going out, and I've had people ask me, "You getting back on the road, Jordan?" No, I'm not. But if I had to do it, what I would do, I would go to the Small Business Administration. I would show up on their doorstep. I would request a loan for up to $50,000, maybe more, maybe less. But there's, me and my friends used to talk about it a lot of times. There are trucks out there, especially since they're coming up with all these high energy trucks right now, these electric trucks and things. They're going to be dumping these trucks. So this truck, you can get a truck out there for 50 grand, easily. 50 grand, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. I've seen some even cheaper than that. I've seen some $10,000. So you can go out and buy yourself a truck. Now, there's a lot of risk in that because you got to make sure you get a truck that you can depend on, that's going to, get you at least 6 months to a year before you have to go into the shop. Okay, so you get a truck, 50 grand. Get a loan to get that truck. You could probably, on a $50,000 loan, pay $600 to $700, maybe even $1,000 a month. Now, what did Pam quote you? $475 a week? That's $2,000 a month. I said you can get a lease payment, a truck payment on a truck for $50,000 for $600 to $700 a month. Okay, is it starting to click now? Now, you have that truck. You got your payment. You got to make your payment, right? You got to get all of your well, let me stop there. You can now, since you have that truck, you can go to PAM, KLM, Snyder National, Western Express, who else? JB Hunt. And you can say, hey, I have my own truck as an owner-operator. I want to run freight for you as an owner-operator. They'll all take you. They'll all take you. Now, the license, the tabs, they're going to do all that. They're going to do it all. Now you have your own truck. This is the thing I always say to people who are under the lease purchase program. Even though you're leasing their truck and they own that truck, now you get a little bit more flexibility in the loads and things you want to take, but there's always that caveat that they get back to. They own the truck. You don't follow their guidelines or things that they want you to do, they own the truck. Oh yeah. And I've seen that happen in a lease purchase program where I would turn down a load, and that Monday morning I couldn't get a load no more. They wouldn't give it to me. It'd be Monday, Tuesday before I get picked up. Why? Because they still have that control. And that's why I'm telling you, buy your own truck. Jump onto a corporation, owner-operator. Now, when they tell you, hey, I want you to deliver that load, you're like, no, I'm not delivering, not enough money. Well, then we're not going to, well, that's fine. All you got to do is tell them, okay, well, let's end this contract. Walk across the street to PAM, KLM, Snyder National, and just start working. They'll take you. I'm telling you, you have all the control now. Because they know that when they tell you to skedaddle because you're not, the partnership that you have is not working out for them, they got the truck. So when you walk out that door, you ain't got nothing but the backpack on your back. That's all you got. All your shit from the truck. But when you own that truck, you now take that truck with you and you say, that's okay. Pam just told me that they're going to give me a better rate anyway. So I'm going to run freight for them now. Here's your license plate. Here's all your crap back. I'm going to take my truck. You ain't got to walk out with your backpack. You take your truck. You drop that trailer off and say, hey, peace. And you go down to the next street. So I'm telling you, that is the way you should do it. You have full control over what you want to do. You are now officially, and I've told people this when we talked about owner-operators and lease purchase, you are not the same person. As an owner-operator, you have your own truck, and now you can tell that company, that broker, hey, this is not working out for you. And that's what the OOIDA is. They're all owner operators who are saying, hey, these brokers are taking us for, they can say that. They have their truck. They have the bargaining power. They have the ability to say, hey, this is not right. And that's what they're telling them. And it's ridiculous that during this pandemic, you got brokers and trucking companies that are making gobs of money off of this. And truckers are asked to run harder, not and follow the same regulations. They didn't even extend the regulations. They only extended it for essential things. Like if you ain't delivering masks, stuff required, medical things, then the hours of operation haven't even changed. That's ridiculous. So you're asked to do more with the same amount of time that you expected to, and then they say, well, the speeding tickets for truckers are going up. Hello. If I still got 11 hours to drive and I got more shit I got to try to get down the street, guess what's going to happen? I'm sorry. Sometimes I get too into it too much. But you as a trucker, make your word known. Support the trucking organizations that are out there pushing Congress, that are blowing the horn on the White House lawn and saying, hey, treat us fairly. That's what you need to support. Let's take a look at the news. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at the weather broadcast so that you guys can be safe out there on the road.
We are headed into a new week and one that will hold more stormy weather. We have 2 areas in red on Sunday, which is where we could see severe weather. The threats will be damaging winds and large hail. Now, one area is in the Great Lakes and the other is in the Northwest. On Monday, our severe threat shifts into the southeast, and that's also going to knock down the temperatures after some recent hot weather. Look at the east, a lot of rain coming through here, quiet in the middle of the country. In the west, we've got areas of rain throughout the week and even snow coming into the Sierra. That'll actually be great for the snowpack. In the east, we're going to hang on to that wet weather as we go into the middle of the week. So as we move from Tuesday into Wednesday in the mid-Atlantic and parts of the southeast, expect more dreary weather. It's going to be wet. It's going to be windy throughout this area and just kind of ugly.
All right, that was the new weather broadcast. Again, we have a little rain out there in trucking land. So make sure you take your precautions and drive safely. Again, if you have any comments, please comment in the section. I want to know what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about, the different issues that you want to talk about on this broadcasting, this trucking broadcasting. And as I always say, be safe out there. No load is worth your life. This is Trucker 717. This is Trucker 717 broadcasting. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Trucker 717 out.